Chapter 658. Edward sneered in disdain. Faria, don't say I didn't warn you. This guy insulted the Whale family and bit our dog. Even if Lord Adair comes to talk it out, we won't let him off so easily. Then, he pointed at Link and shouted to Alex, I'll forgive you temporarily if you kneel before my dog and apologize, and then kneel before me and apologize again. Link was over the moon when he heard it. He would wag his tail if he had one. He was thankful that Edward had stood up for him after he had been slapped twice. So, while covering his swollen cheek, he strode to Alex and said arrogantly, You heard him, right? Kneel before me right now. Alex snorted contemptuously, and then, in a split second, he stretched his arm out, grabbed Link's neck, and lifted him upward. Edward watched the scene with wide eyes, completely dumbfounded. Never did he expect that Alex could lift a 180-pound man with one arm, his feet suspended off the ground. Link could only feel a strong force strangling his neck as his legs were kicking in the air. However, the more he struggled, the more he became breathless. Alex stared at Link and said coldly, If you dare to utter one more word, I'll carve the words pathetic jerk on your forehead just as I did to your son. Then, he flung him to the floor. Link yelped loudly in pain as he was slammed to the floor. He felt as though the bones in his body were all broken, but he was frightened by Alex's ruthlessness and charisma, so he crawled to Edward's side with his mouth tightly shut. Faria urged her bodyguards indignantly, What are you standing there for? Kick this man out of our property right now. The bodyguards nodded and immediately marched forward, restraining Link. Link frantically shouted, Mr. Whale, Mr. Whale, help me. Edward clenched his knuckles tightly until they turned white. This was an utter humiliation that he had never had to face before. The wrath of fury was burning violently in his eyes. He gritted his teeth and said to Faria, Do you know that this loser is a married man and a useless live-in son-in-law? How dare you kick my people out for him? Faria replied with a cold face, Master Anderson is our family's honorable guest, and he is also one of the people I admire most. Your dog aside, even if you dare to continue to be disrespectful to Master Anderson, I'll kick you out of here. Edward squinted his eyes darkly. He looked intensely at Faria and then at Alex as he sneered. He said in dismay, Dude, you think you're so powerful, huh? You dare to be so arrogant to me just because Faria is backing you up. Haven't you heard of the Whale family in Aerith? Alex smiled faintly and said, Oh. Yes, I've heard of it. Edward then continued with a cold and contemptuous expression, Good, then. You've insulted my family, calling my family trash. If you don't apologize to me right now and beg me for forgiveness, our family will hunt you down. Until then, not even God can protect you. I've heard of the Whale family because of a viral video I saw on the internet. You know, the young man who ate an old man's shit in a hospital toilet? I also heard that the young man's name is Kotza Whale. He is one of your family members, isn't he? The way I see it, your family is quite savage. I wonder how he can eat that thing just like that. Edward grimaced angrily when Alex mentioned his brother's shit-eating incident. Damn it, this was the biggest scandal in the Whale family's century-old history. At that moment, Stephen mimicked a meme on the internet and exaggeratedly said, Fuck. Savage. A burst of loud laughter resonated across the yard. Meanwhile, Edward looked like he wanted Alex's head on a platter.